Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of today, September 15th, Sunday, through Saturday to come, the 21st. A couple things going on this week. Today, the 15th, is the feast day on the Christian calendar of Our Lady of Sorrows. It recognizes Mary's loss of her son and her strength and fortitude in literally watching him die on the cross and continuing to live on and to do his work, intercession and exorcism and all those things after he was gone. At the end of the week, on the 21st, we have the feast day of Saint Matthew, the evangelist and apostle, a day honoring him. I talked about both of those, of course, in the general reading. On the celestial calendar, yesterday we had not only the full moon in Pisces on a Friday the 13th, but also Mercury and Venus, both rulers of the sign of Gemini, having entered Libra, which Venus also rules, fellow air sign Libra. On the 18th, I think it was, we have Jupiter square the true node, I believe. Don't quote me. I'm not sure, but I do give the correct information and talk about it a bit in the general reading, as I always do. So, and for those of you who are new to my channel, in my weekly general reading, I tend to go over things that I think may be important, not only in general, to perhaps the world at large, but specific to the divine union or twin flame community from all three Abrahamic religions, the celestial calendar, planetary calendar overview, and I guess that's it. I talk about all of that ahead of the tarot reading, and then I'll tell you how far to fast forward for those of you who just want to see a tarot reading and are not concerned with what else may affect us with it, which is, your right and privilege to feel that way. All right, so on that note, let's get to the love reading, because I prefer not to talk before this one. Beginning with Bai Shoes. Weekend away. And it's 50-50. I've posted a Pisces full moon reading, by the way, as well as the general reading. Spirit still says it's 50-50, which is very Venus in Libra, by the way. Communication, courtesy of Mercury in Libra, and fairness and balance, courtesy of Venus in Libra. So hence that it's 50-50. Also 29, that's about spiritual partnerships. 29 showed up ahead of the general reading as well in the dice. And stay in bed. So in that general reading, or actually prior to it, and the moon reading as well, I saw breakup for some people, separation, pain, sorrow, loss, betrayal, maybe even, and that may be connected to, again, Our Lady of Sorrows is today. Perhaps others of us will, feel some sort of sorrow or pain or loss this week as well. Separation is, like Mary. I saw for the masculine in particular, dealing with some, pretty heavy stuff from the past and childhood and maybe even molestation. And I think that came out here with the cards I'm going to use, because I'm beginning with Inner Child with my Universal Love Oracle and Sacral Chakra with the Angel Therapy cards. Of course, Sacral Chakra would include, that genital area of the body. And it just, the way it ended up sitting here right above Inner Child, I looked at it and I was like, oh, maybe it's connected to that. But with my Animal Tarot, I'm beginning with Major Arcana card 18, the Moon. Whenever there is like a new moon or a full moon, the moon always shows up as many times ways as it's able in my readings. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. Major Arcana card 18, the moon, represents the sign of Pisces, where our full moon actually was yesterday. And opening to fellow water sign Scorpio with Major Arcana card 13, release or death. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. And I definitely saw that. Like where I saw even the pain and the hurt, I also saw like it has to happen because something better and newer and better is awaiting you. And the dreamer or the fool also sort of supports that. Major Arcana card 0. All about a brand new path on which we've never walked before. You're starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. The moon, the queen of winter, experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. Maybe Venus herself, or even Mercury, or Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. All of your experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, to clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. I also saw that, like some of us surrounded by the wrong people, places, and things that, don't align with our vibration. We need to match ourselves with something of our vibration or higher from which we can learn. And, so we're going to have to make adjustments to the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves. Opening to the King of Autumn. He is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. The King of Autumn is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Yes, that just reminded me on the 18th, also Saturn goes direct. Saturn, which has been retrograde since April in Capricorn, which it rules, will be going direct. I also talk about that in the journal. Queen of Winter and the Two of Autumn, speaking of the need for balance and perhaps to make a decision with, regard to earthly matters and maybe the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves. What does the Queen of Winter need to get rid of? You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and your personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. Queen of Winter. I like to cut into 6. And get everything all mixed up. Overall energy in this deck is Major Arcana card 19, the Sun. When you see the sun and the moon, it tends to mean that something is coming out, some truth is coming out, something is being clarified, we're being enlightened, things are going to work out for the best. If somebody maybe had some sort of health issue going on, was in the hospital, had to go to the doctor, maybe they got an x-ray or CAT scan, something involving radiation, that will be turning out fine. Something about which we were curious or unaware, will be illuminated. What's done in the dark always comes to light. Some things may be coming to light this week. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. Major Arcana card 19, the Sun, represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. Again, for advice, I'm using the angel therapy cards, beginning with the sacral chakra. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. And I think this includes the people, places, and things, again, with which we surround ourselves. Like, we're sensitive to them. They need to be of our vibration or higher. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. And opening to Archangel Raphael. The healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. Raphael. Okay. If you get nervous, focus on service. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. To get nervous. And throat chakra. The angels are helping you to lovingly speak your truth. And so is Mercury in Libra. Throat chakra. One more. Indigo. The person you're inquiring about is an indigo, meaning a highly sensitive, natural-born healer. Past life issue. So this is exactly what I was talking about. That it may be an issue from a past life or from this life, your past. This situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you to remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. Overall energy is throat chakra. The angels are helping you to lovingly speak your truth. It's this card that didn't want me to pick it up. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think, and we don't have to say what we want. We assume they're going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know. Okay, that's not what they're saying here, is not to do that. Assume nothing. This may be all the advice we need between that one and the card that was already showing. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. If all humans would communicate with impeccability of word, all of our relationships would change. There would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. So both of those cards speak to us speaking, not only with integrity, but effectively and honestly, confidently speaking whatever truth it is you have to speak. Very air sign, so very Venus, very Mercury. Speaking of air signs, with my Universal Love Oracle, again, I'm beginning with Inner Child, which is a combination for me of air, earth, and water energy. And of the air, most specifically, the sign of Aquarius with these 3 stars. The stars represents the sign of Aquarius in the tarot. And the stars are placed very strategically, in my opinion, over the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. Those are all communication centers. So again, that's very air sign. This child, I believe, has something to say. So there could be something from our past in this lifetime and or a past lifetime with which we will be made to deal this week. Some sort of karmic lesson. And again, in the full moon, Pisces full moon reading that I did, there are love, karmic lesson, and general spreads in that reading. So do check it out. I will try to remember to leave a link to it in the description, but if not, it is in my currently featured video playlist, and should be right up on the top of my page anyway as one of my most recent uploads. Opening to Healing Sounds, which is a very water and Piscean in particular kind of energy and card for me, and is about what it looks to be. Meditation, which can be guided meditation, that can be sounds, binaural tones, listening to one's own thoughts in silence. And sometimes things that we don't necessarily think of, to me, are healing sounds like, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I love you. Those are healing sounds, right? They make you feel good to hear those things. Or they start a conversation and they start the healing process. So all of those could be connected to this. And these two, again, may go together. It may be the Pisces full moon that is in part prompting this child's speech, what they need to say, releasing of the past issues, or the other events, celestial events that occurred on the same day as the Pisces full moon, which again was both Mercury and Venus having entered Libra. Healing sounds. Oh, all right. Relationship wants to be seen when this card shows up. It means that one needs to work on the relationship that they have with themselves first and foremost. And other relationships will fall into place. And then speaking of Piscean energy, opening to dreams, which for me is also a very Pisces card. Neptune in Pisces rules, fantasy and the sort of veil of illusion versus reality. Our, goals and dreams, daydreams and dreams while we're sleeping, all of these things, receiving intuitive messages through any of those, all very Piscean for me. Neptune in Pisces also rules higher love. So in terms of the love reading and healing relationships, this could be coming up. You could be hearing some sort of healing sounds in your dreams, whether you're, daydreaming or you're asleep, getting some sort of messages there. And divine guidance, another one, right? The moon. Again, the moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. And this is about when you hear those messages, when you receive those messages, which may come in a dream state. We've got these two cards, the same colors and everything too, that are showing up. The idea is to actually surrender and follow the guidance that you've received. Divine guidance. And that brings us to love. But the overall energy is still dreams, and they also wanted me to see that the goddess had ended up behind that card. And there's basically, it's like the goddess of the moon, and more indication of the need to surrender. Anytime that I see nude body, particularly nude female body, since the female or feminine energy is one that's more so representative of surrender, and the moon for me represents specifically feminine energy of surrender. When I see a nude body, to me that's the most vulnerable, it's close to as the most vulnerable as you can get, right? You are literally at your bare essence. And so to me, that's full surrender. Lastly, I wanted to use my hashtag creepy deck. I don't know what I did with it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I guess I wasn't meant to. And these kept saying pick me, pick me. So we will be using the fortune cards instead, beginning with proposal, a romantic or business opportunity. Well, this is the love reading, so we're going to go with romantic. A romantic opportunity is indicated. Ooh, isn't that cool? Opening right to marriage from there. You're attracting emotional fulfillment and unconditional love. It's a very Two of Cups kind of card, like literally two cups showing in the picture. Marriage. Phoenix, be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. So that could be some of these separations, breakups, and then again, like I said, something better comes, whether it's a reconciliation or it's a new meeting with somebody else, something better is coming. And that may be cause for celebration. Here comes Cracker. Positive energy surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune await. Cracker. Both of those cards very fire, right? The Phoenix and the Cracker, very fire oriented. So it could be like a Knight of Wands kind of energy that comes through to save the day and make everything better when you're in that period of hurting. Maybe specifically a fire sign involved, a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And opening to Thorn, another fiery card. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring a new and positive future. So this is another confirmation of what I've been saying, that for many, something difficult to bear may be coming, but again, followed by something far better and a better future. You know, we have to experience this thing in order to get to this other part. And it may just be like having to hear something maybe that's difficult to hear, and maybe not even directly impacting you. Like maybe we have to hear something that somebody else experienced as a child in their past. It's difficult to deal with, but that coming out is going to give way to better things in the future. You know, there's a lot of possibilities with this, actually. And yeah, everything turns out wonderful. There's another sun. Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. Sun also, of course, a fire element energy. In real life, the sun rules the sign of Leo. Earth's star, the sun, that is, rules the sign of Leo. Celebrations. You're ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. Overall energy is unity, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. But I did want to show you that the moon jumped out. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. Again, the moon represents the sign of Pisces. I'm just going to stick this in like arbitrarily. It doesn't matter where. Overall energy of unity. Using this spread first with, this deck first rather, doing a spread from the perspective of the masculine, beginning with the feminine higher self, a message from the feminine higher self to her, so the divine feminine, the masculine as it relates to the feminine, and himself, the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do, surrender, contribute toward the union this week, what he himself is willing to. What the universe would have each or both do, and even wants to help them with, but we have to first affirm, because we have free will, so we got to choose, and the outcome. Again, the overall energy is dreams. Divine feminine relationship. So working on your relationship with yourself first and foremost. Everything else is going to fall into place, but there's something that you need to heal within. So this is about introspection and maybe dreams and goals, thinking about reflecting on, you know, where have you been? Where are you going? Where are you at now? What is it going to take to achieve your next step? What do you need to leave behind? What baggage are you carrying that you can't take with you? All of that here. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, and quite possibly specifically in as it relates to this card here, and that is creativity. Creativity is represented by the number 3. I didn't mention there are a lot of 3s this week in this week's numerology. For example, the Pisces full moon occurred officially not on the 13th, Friday the 13th at all, but on Saturday the 14th at 12:33 in the morning. So that's 3 at 21 degrees, another 3. The 3s also represent abundance and the Ascended Masters, and coming up with creative ways to help ourselves to become more abundant. And it's about co-creation too, working with other people. And this card represents all of that. It's fire, it's water, and it's air. And the water is most specifically Pisces, again for me. So you Pisces out there, this is like your week. Really, really high energy for you guys. Your sign is, your ruler is still in retrograde, however, in your sign. But you see these very Piscean like fish jumping out there, these translucent fish jumping out of the water. And again, the moon is behind her, and the moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. But it can be any water sign energy connected to this, as well as fire. We have this red-winged or red-bodied angel here. And then she's got a star, also very strategically placed over her third eye. So there's some of the air. And again, most specifically, the sign of Aquarius. So still wanting to come up with creative ways. How can we improve our relationships with ourselves and each other? The masculine, as relates to himself directly, what he's dealing with this week is celebration. So that's positive. This is very Three of Cups. Maybe he's being more social than usual this week. For those who are single, could be out with the possibility of meeting someone. Perhaps you, if you're single too, feminine. He could be also celebrating having created something. He's in the process of manifesting something maybe. The 3 is also representative of that, of it being sort of on the horizon. Because we begin with the 1, that's the thought, this the idea. And then the 2 is the faith that it will come to pass. When we get to 3, it's when we can begin to see it taking form. But it's not quite there yet. We're almost there. And then with the 4, it has the 4 legs, solid legs to stand on. And it's a solid foundation. But his feelings on the union as a whole, fear. What overall? Let's see overall. Abundance overall. So this is like a positive earth energy, perhaps connected to Saturn. Going direct in Capricorn, the workhorse. So working toward creating, again, our own abundance and happiness. How do we do that? By working on our relationship with ourselves. By celebrating our victories when we do take a step forward. What the masculine would have the feminine, but like basically what energy he would have her give toward the union this week. Sacred union. So we have another 2 cards sort of matching up with the similar colors. We work on our relationship with ourselves. Everything else falls into place, our other relationships too. And that may be also, again, what he's talking about in relation to the creation and the co-creation. Like we made this together. And so that directly correlates to your relationship with yourself too. And to my relationship with myself. But together we have this. What he's what energy he's willing to give to the relationship this week. And what he's celebrating, it seems to be, is answer to his prayers, right? His dreams, his goals coming true. Again, connected to air, energy, and water. And maybe specifically involving an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But doesn't have to be. All right, everybody can have answered prayer. But we have it right here, crossing his celebration. So that's with an overall energy of dreams, his goals being manifested, coming true. That's what he's celebrating. His victories. What the universe would have us each or both do, and what energy we're each to give to it, but and the universe wants to even help us with, is embrace. So this is about balance. I mean, yes, it's about us coming together. Right, universe wants to help us to come together, but the way the author intended this card is depicting one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together harmoniously. So that requires, again, the healing of this relationship that we have with ourselves, and the working on fear, releasing of fear, so that we can come into balance. So the universe wants to help with that. We ask, and the outcome. Blessings, right? This is the abundance coming in. So we're crowned by abundance and like rooted in blessings, and they are one and the same. And sitting next to answer prayer, the blessings. So we ask for it, we manifest it, we celebrate it, we express gratitude. The process continues. It starts all over again. We experience more stuff. I will pull the next upright card from here as a clarifier for the fear, and maybe it'll show us more specifically to what the fear is connected for most. And this is the next upright card. It's another card. It's another card of fear. Hey, when they do that to me, and they do it quite often, it's like the joke's on you. You want to see clarification? We're just going to repeat what we already said. So the Five of Autumn, or Pentacles, why I'm laughing is because this card depicts fear also. It's basically fear of lack. So it could be anything. It could be literal fear of the lack of money or material things. But it can also be like you feel like you are lacking. You lack self-worth, you lack esteem, you lack confidence. It can also be like worry, paranoia about your past relationships sort of revisiting you in your current relationship. Maybe because you brought it there, right? If you're bringing the energy of what in your mind is failure, you know, from past situations to your new situation, yeah, you can cause that to fail. Sure you can. Also, this is fear of commitment, fear of abandonment, something from your past, you know, that's coming up. So all of those things, and that's the what the masculine is feeling about the union as a whole. So could be coming from himself, could be coming from the feminine, could be coming from both. And it looks like it's more so, looks like here, it's really more so the feminine. But I would say both. And the universe says both need this help here coming into balance. Shoving that in arbitrarily too. And putting these all on top, so when I take the advice from this side, it won't be one of those. And for a spread more so from the perspective of the universe, the fortune teller cards. So divine being or couple, is that in frame? Okay. Recent past, near future. Masculine's higher self, blocks to individual or shared progress, what the masculine can do, what the feminine rather can do to help herself, what the masculine can, what the universe would have each or both do and even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm because we have free will and can make that choice for ourselves, and the outcome. And the overall energy is unity. Divine being or couple. Mountain. Know that you're protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. Recent past. Plane. A journey is indicated, either physically or metaphorically. Your life will become more full. There was some sort of movement. It may have been literal movement, travel, visiting one another, literally moving from one place to another, one home to another or something. Returning home, revisiting a place or situation. Or it could be metaphoric movement, just progress. Near future. Flowers. Be generous. Success and emotional fulfillment are yours. This is very earth, and actually the advice, I think, in the Pisces full moon reading for the feminine included the King of Pentacles, and I said there was going to be a generous energy coming toward particularly the feminine. In this position, of course, it's for either, but you could be receiving some sort of gift, or again, this could be connected to forgiveness and apologies. You know, you give flowers when you're trying to make up something to someone, or as like a peace offering. There could be some sort of peace offering. Or we're visiting somebody, when you go to visit, especially like if they're in the hospital or something, but just as going to visit in general, you bring flowers. Masculine's higher self. Marriage, this Two of Cups. So this is where his head is at. And, you know, for somebody you know, I mean, you may be getting engaged this week, or even getting married this week, or somebody close to you, somebody you know, maybe getting engaged or married. And that may be what the celebration was from the last spread also, because now we have the masculine doing a lot of celebrating and being social. This may also be a place for singles to meet, an engagement party, a wedding, some other social event. So this card has like more than one meaning, here. It's also just the masculine having an energy of partnership surrounding him. But the dice also showed partnership in more than one way, right? It's 50-50 and also 29, which is indicative of spiritual partnership. So in relation to the love reading, divine unions or twin flame coupling, soulmate relationships. Blocks to individual or shared progress. Beware. Be careful of who you trust at this time. So frauds, fakes, phonies, liars, backstabbers, gossipers. This is 5 of Swords. This is 5 of Wands. Just, be discerning. Because again, you may have to cut some people out of your life. Queen of Swords style. And that came up in every reading. Do watch the others. And, you'll get a much fuller picture. This person may be an earth sign, direct earth sign. Taurus, most specifically, is what I'm feeling. But of course, it can be any sign. This plane and travel connected to the energy of Cancer for me, the Chariot, with the movement. But of course, also planes being in air, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Mountain as well is like earth and air. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What the feminine can do to help herself. Ooh, speaking of Capricorn, it is Devil. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. So what can the feminine do to help herself with this? Again, like I said, it's very possibly an earth sign. And now I have more confirmation of that with Devil showing up. Right? Beware. Be careful of who you trust at this time. What can the feminine do to help herself with this situation? Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. Devil. The masculine can do to help himself in relation to the block. Angel. Your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. So you need to pay attention to any intuitive messages, syncs, signs that you receive. In the, I hate to keep having to refer to this other reading, but in the Pisces full moon reading, well, prior to it, I had felt that some messages may come in from deceased parents, and then we saw evidence of that in the actual spread. That could be with relation to love too. I mean, this could be, yes, angels, your angels surrounding you, but your ancestors, again, deceased loved ones, maybe specifically parents or father was what I really saw and felt. So that's how the masculine can help himself with this. Pay attention to the signs, syncs, your intuition, what it's telling you about these potential, people that you can't necessarily trust that may be surrounding you. What the universe would have each or both of us to do to help ourselves, and even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm, and it is Sun. Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. So don't worry about the people, places, and things that you have to leave behind, right? Don't try to keep holding on to them if the universe is pushing you away from them, if it's telling you to watch your back and to beware. It wants to help you by encouraging you to open up your heart and toward moving forward. So leaving whatever that is out. And the outcome. Thorns. Weathering the challenges ahead. So it could be challenging, again, to leave people, places, and things behind. But weathering that and making it through that will bring in a new and positive future. And for some, it is what's going to lead to your partnership. Again, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. And when I pick this up, it's showing me now that lovers is also right behind it. There are two paths ahead. Be true to yourself. And we have another combination of cards with the same color scheme. Two paths ahead. So one is probably where your heart and soul wants you to go. And the other is, maybe where society or something might otherwise have you go. And again, you're being guided to pay attention to your intuition, what your body is telling you, what your angels are telling you, and, any of those positive beings of light that surround you and through which you get your messages, pay attention to that. Further advice for the masculine and for the feminine from the fortune cards. For the masculine and for the feminine from the animal tarot. For the masculine and for the feminine from the angel therapy cards. Again, they have an overall energy of the throat chakra. The animal tarot had an overall energy of the sun. That 5 of autumn is sticking up again, so it's reminding us of the lack that many of us are feeling, the fear. From the Universal Love Oracle for the masculine and for the feminine. And from the 4 agreements. So advice from the 4 agreement cards to the masculine. Don't take anything personally. Release self-judgment. Even the opinions that you have about yourself. So maybe that's why that 5 of autumn was sticking up again. Because that's that feeling of lacking, like I said, a lacking of confidence and self-worth and esteem. So even those opinions that you have about yourself are not necessarily true. Therefore, you don't need to take whatever you hear, even in your own mind, personally. Feminine for us. See other people as they are. And we're not to take anything personally either. When you see other people as they are without taking it personally, you can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it's okay. They're lying to you because they're afraid of what you'll discover, that they're not perfect. Isn't it funny how in both cases, in the beginning of the reading, when I was just shuffling the cards, and we got 2 cards about communication before, and now we got 2 cards about not taking it personally. And you saw me shuffle. From the Universal Love Oracle to the masculine, meditation. So this may be how you receive the messages, right, from your angels that we talked about. However you define meditation. It doesn't have to be sitting somewhere, in a prayer pose or Indian style like this. It can be, riding your bike, listening to, your music, headphones, AirPods, whatever you're into, jogging, while you're in your car, you got some motivational speaker going or something, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Doing yoga or other exercise, going to the gym. Feminine for us, healing sounds is back. So similar to the masculine, we're guided to work on some sort of meditation too. And again, this can also be tied to the need to speak up. We saw a lot of air stuff, and we have this overall energy of throat chakra here. So it could be healing sounds like I discussed, like, again, I forgive you. I'm sorry. Let's try again. Let's move on. It was nice meeting you. It was nice knowing you. It's over. It's just beginning. Whatever. All of those can be healing sounds too. Speaking of healing sounds, from the angel therapy cards to the masculine, vacuum away fear. Call upon archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, from your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. That totally resonates with the other messages you've gotten so far. Feminine, for us, you are profoundly clairvoyant. Trust what you see in your mind's eye, as well as with your physical sight. For your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. From the animal tarot to the masculine, the 5 of spring. We knew this, right? I said before, the 5 of wands, the 5 of swords. This also came up in the general reading. Occasionally, whoa, did you see that? And this is not light. Okay, this is not light. You hear the thud? This is not light. Like, I'm not faking it. This just jumped off the table. Hit me in the leg, and then went to the floor. I don't know if you saw it. It was sitting here. Right, this is solid table. That's where it was sitting. I wasn't working over here. There was no reason for it to come off the table. Maybe that's whoever's mad at the masculine is mad at me for telling him. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. This 5 of spring, as I said in the other reading, for me, if it's not about inner turmoil and conflict, like being conflicted, then it tends to be about some sort of competition, right? Somebody out for your spot, your glory, your shine. They're mad, at your glow up. And or it is conflict with close friends and or relatives. I posted something today. It was like, I will unfriend, uncousin, unson, undaughter, whatever I have to do to move away from a toxic energy. And that would be my suggestion to you as well. Feminine, for us, we got this card in the other reading too. The 8 of spring. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. This is about the universe working on our behalf behind the scenes. It's also about communication. It could be us reaching out to somebody. It could be somebody reaching out to us. This could even come in the mail. Maybe a card or a letter or something in the mail, or, via email, if it's not, a phone call or text or something. Some sort of positive news and positive movement forward. More earth energy for the masculine. And this is a good one. This is like a very Ace of Pentacles kind of card. Goals. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. So this is like reconfirmation of your other card about your answered prayer. And also saying that this won't be successful. Remember here, don't sacrifice your goals or beliefs. That's what the person wants. But no, your goals will be achieved. And feminine for us, Snake. Your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path, but be careful. So we got a couple of cards like this too. Like the same way the masculine is getting confirmation over and over again, we are too. Like, for example, here's a card about our intuition. It's saying we're profoundly clairvoyant. So this is saying it also. But we still have to exercise discernment. Like, don't get ahead of yourself thinking that you've got it all figured out. Still, use some common sense and wisdom and pay attention to frauds and, be on the lookout. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekly love reading, that you find it helpful. Thank you again for joining me, for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Do check out the other videos. Do check out Divine Girl Talk. Yvonne, our sister out there, who I met on Facebook on this journey, she puts so much, very positive energy and support into that page for me. I couldn't thank her enough. Do check it out, where we, talk about our real life issues. You can do it anonymously if you like, but it's nice to get support from people that don't think you're crazy, or at least I think so. And so that's why I started it. And, we have a good time on there. We help each other, support each other. Also, a more private and closed setting on Facebook, a Divine Oneness, a Facebook group. And also I have cool merch on Society 6. And there's links to all that kind of stuff on the video also. And how to reach me if you would like to. Queenofswordsthelightworker.com, but there's more information, again, in the description box below. I will be back. Namaste.